What is up, everybody? This is the Crafty Gamer bringing you, as we get some tunes going on, this is the main theme from Monopoly PS1, which I would have put on my last video, the soundtrack one, but there was really only 2 or 3 songs. I mean, technically that would have been fine, and these are iconic to me. Excuse me, but anyways, that's what we got here, and that would definitely deserve an honorable mention. So this is about as good as an honorable mention as it gets. It's being used as the background music of my next video. So without further ado, we are talking about the top locations in video games in my career of playing video games. This is not levels per se, although there are some levels being used here. So I guess maybe they are levels. I don't know, it's hard to explain levels, because at a certain point in video games, levels don't really become levels. They're a whole nother, like, what level is there in Fallout? Like, it's different, you know, like Fallout 3, 4, whatever. This game right here, some of the later Final Fantasy games, you know what I mean? So I'm going to go with locations. I think it's a little more broad. But without further ado, at number 10 is the Ocean View Motel. The Ocean View... the Ocean View Motel in Control. Now, you go to the motel a number of times throughout the game, and even in the DLCs I found out. I just bought those ones about 2 months ago. Oh, about 2 months ago. And, yeah, you even go to it then. Pretty spooky place to go to, but I don't know, man. There's something kind of comforting about this. Kind of looks like a drive-through on your way to a vacation destination motel. Pretty quiet for the most part. Like I said, spooky when you have to try to get through it. But like in this situation at the front desk, I don't know, there's something calming about it. I kind of like it. It's a very low-key compared to the game itself, and the number of things you can do as a character, and the number of the people you try to fight. So, and the main thing when you're going through these, there's really you don't ever fight against anyone, so it's kind of a reprieve. So I always got excited when that little lamp doohickey thing was there, and you pulled it down, and then you were transported here, and you just had a chance to kind of, loosen the shoulders and ease up, and just kind of anticipate the next round of madness that you would have to face. And so that's why this is number 10 on my list. At number 9, in a similar vein and from a similar game, that almost rhymed. This is from the original Max Payne. That also kind of rhymed. In a similar vein, from a similar game, this is Max Payne. Fucking rhyme. Here we go. Anyways, made by the same company and by the same folks as Control. One of the places you could go to, little bit of a ways in, not too far, but a little bit of ways in, when you're roaming the streets, you can actually go into this pawnbroker shop, and inside is, I believe, 2 dudes that you shoot, and then if you break the glass, there's like, I think there's a gun. It's been so long since I played it that I really don't remember. But I know that there's like, I think there's a gun in there, and there's a couple other things that you can collect. But I don't know. I used to play imagination at that time, and I would use the code to get all the weapons, unlimited ammo, invincibility and whatnot. And so I would pretend that I was the owner of that pawnbroker, and I would run outside with the grenade launcher and shoot him up in the air and be like, this is the, we have this sale going on at the pawnbroker, blah, blah, blah. Because I was that fucking lame. But it made me happy as a fucking clam. So I'm really, really jazzed about that. And I just will always remember this pawnbroker shop. It was actually the first time I really started to learn what a pawn shop was too. So pawnbrokers or pawn stars don't get that credit. Max Payne actually does. And that's why it's my number 9 on my list. At number 8, I'm going to zoom in a bit on this. I apologize. I don't want to... it's going to get a little... Well, it's really pixelated on my TV, but... I want to say this is the... Sorry, I'm kind of hungry. I'm just going to pull a chip out there. I want to say this is from the third world, but I could be wrong. But this is the... this is Chameleon Twist 2, which, my goodness, is quite the expensive game nowadays. It's pretty amazing. It's too bad I don't have the original box. I have the manual and the game, but not the box. I don't even remember when we got the game, to be honest. But the cool thing about, Chameleon Twist is he looks totally different. I didn't even realize. In the original one, I think he's like blue-black. Like, he's the color of the sticks. And, yeah, he don't look much like how he does in this one. I think he looks much better in this one. But this is Chameleon Twist 2, in any case, on the N64. And you end up going to five or six different worlds. I think it's 5. And this one was the ice one. Now, technically, there's an even better part of this world that I care more about. I'm actually surprised I didn't end up choosing this, because I did this list like 2 weeks ago. I'm actually trying to understand why I chose this one. I mean, I understand in a way why I chose this one. It's hockey. I used to play hockey. And it's pretty cool. You have to... The hockey sticks, as you can see, spin around. And the idea is you need to latch yourself and get slapped around by these things. And then end up in the goal. But... the wind bridge, I think, in my opinion, would be the better one. It's a much more simple puzzle. You have to alternate between going to various tiny little igloos boop, 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 across this bridge while avoiding getting blown off. And I don't know, there was, again, using the imagination. I had way too much fun pretending that each igloo was like a person's house, and I had my own igloo. And we were living on this treacherous bridge with the wind and everything like that. Like, I would RPG myself in a way into a pretty much an easy obstacle to get by. And that's what I kind of ended up doing with a lot of games back then, when I would try to replay them. Yet I never beat the game, so... anyways. But I can kind of understand why I chose this one. This one was a little more... It pushed the cognitive buttons a bit more, which I thought was cool. Is this one smelling? Oh, it is one smelling. I was like, whoa, okay. And then again, it was hockey, so that makes sense. Either one works. Yeah, I'm just gonna say either one works. It goes either way. The igloo scene or the hockey scene, but it's the same world, and that is my number 8, I believe. I think. Number 7, I hope. I want to say this is World 4-3, but I could be wrong. It could be 4-2, or it could not even be 4. But this is from Bomberman Hero. I actually just mentioned this in my last video. So if you're watching the soundtrack, I brought it up this game. And, oh, I should actually zoom that in a bit. There we go. And the cool thing about this game is, or this level, is when you hit these switches, when you put the bomb on these switches, it allows literally 0 gravity. So when you jump, you can jump like probably like 1,000 times higher than you normally would, and it's kind of in slow motion. Everything is in slow motion. It has that like slush wave kind of like Darren Shields vibe to it. It's pretty cool. Simple level. I mean, most of the levels in this game are pretty simple, but I don't know. There was something about that, and then you can't see it, obviously, in this picture, but to the right of Bomberman, if you're actually situating yourself in Bomberman's position, to his right are these pits, and there's these, they're like slug-like creatures in bubbles, and I think it's kind of funny that, I think it comes up again. I'm pretty certain it comes up again. Enemies in bubbles seems to kind of resonate with me, at least with my childhood, so it's kind of interesting. But yeah, this is definitely my favorite, by far, my favorite level from Bomber Hero on the N64. At number 5, probably one of the few games few levels, a few games too, actually. God, I want to play it again too. I have my PS2 out. I'd have to replay the whole game again. That's not a big deal. Not that big of a deal. Is Hitman. Oh man, Blood Money? I think this is Blood Money. I think it's Blood Money. It's the third one in the trilogy box set that I have, and honestly, all the levels are a blast. They finally fixed a lot of things that were issues with the first two, namely one of the ones where you could carry a weapon in your suit, but for some reason they would still see you, and that was a real pain in the ass. But in this one, that no longer really became an issue, so that was pretty cool. But this particular mission, which was mission 6, and I thought for the longest time this was set in San Jose, and it's not set in San Jose, which is like half an hour or so away from me, if that. This is set more in Southern California, which makes more sense with the palm trees. There is a San Jose-ish based one, but it's the mission before, in the not the mental asylum. It's an old folks home. No, not an old folks home. It's I think it's like a convalescence / recovery home. But this mission is taking out a witness informant, retrieving a data disk or data thing. I think that's it. I think those were the only 2 missions, but there were so many goddamn possibilities. And the one that I tend to use was not the greatest way of doing it, but strangling the circus clown that was supposed to be there for the kids' party, and then working my way in, infiltrating in. But there's a to the right. I think you can kind of see it. That triangle on the far right is a tree house. I think that might be what that is. And you could basically snipe them, I guess, but it never really worked out very well. I used to snipe him through the window right here, that lamp on the left. He would actually sit near there and watch TV on his recliner, and I would snipe him from the house on the other side of the street. I'd have to sneak by the people that lived near there. But there was all kinds of things you could do. It was pretty amazing. At one point, I got myself up into his bedroom and was able to strangle him. So it was just a great. I don't know. There's just something. The level is small. It's relatable. It's for me at least. It's a suburb. I don't know. I loved it. Love it. Still love it. Want to go back to it. Amazing. At number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At number 6. Oh, I keep forgetting I do this. At number 6. No. I see what I did in reverse. So 6. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Number 5. Messed that up in the last one is. Oh, sorry. Screwed that one up. I'm supposed to go look for other ones. Is the I guess they're not necessarily landing pads, but they're like portable bases in a lot of ways. And God, I apologize for how bad that looks. That's pretty embarrassing. These can actually be built by other players with the help of other players, and that's another one of the reasons why this game is amazing, Death Stranding. But being able to access these and then gain supplies or vehicles and such, when you play the game you'll understand. It's pretty damn impressive how well everyone that was involved with this game made working with one another, even though you really don't work with one another from a face-to-face standpoint or even in a live standpoint. You can leave a ladder behind or supplies behind, and the game allows you to reward them with likes and such and such and such. And I really don't think there's actually like a whole lot that's gained from that, but there's a real and sincere satisfaction that you help someone in a situation, because then when you get helped, you're able to appreciate, or I guess if you get helped and then you help someone else and then you get those likes back, you're realizing that they're feeling the same way you felt when you received help from another player and such and such. These in particular are the best way to help people. And the inner workings of these little save points, rest points. If you get one that you can actually access and go underground, being able to take a dump legitimately, take a piss legitimately, take a shower, listen to music, check out your gear. I mean, it's one of those things where you can just relax, recollect yourself, and then contemplate your next move going forward. Because in this game, you really have to be aware of what you bring, or what you I mean, even with a vehicle, you have to be aware of what you're going to do, because a vehicle is pretty useful for the most part, but when you get into a BT territory, it's not so great. And if you have a bunch of cargo in the back of a vehicle, and then you enter BT territory, you're going to be hosed. So it was brilliant, and I'll talk more about it when I do some of my game reviews. But yeah, these little rest stops are really a lifesaver in the long run. At number 5, now I can't believe I actually woke up the other night in sweats. Like, not wearing sweats, but in actual physical sweats. Realizing I do not have this game in the box. Now, I don't have the game in the box, but I buy reproductions, so that way I have them in the box. And I thought I had done this. I think it's because they didn't offer it, but I can ask them to do it, and I am definitely going to be doing that in the future, along with a couple other games that I've got. Well, I should zoom that in a little bit. My apologies, but I've never. I should play this now. Wow! Now I have the opportunity to save states on emulators, but this is easily one of the most iconic moments of my favorite time period as a human being. You know, between 1995 to 2000. I would say probably 2000. I don't know, man. There's just something so awesome about this level. It's the second. I want to believe it's the second level you play. The first one is in the Submarine area. And just all the things that you can do and you need to do, it was just so unique for that time period. Having to go and get the vial of, for me, and I'm sure other people in other games have had to do something similar, maybe. But for me, getting the vial from the bartender over there, talking to the piano, bringing him the sheet music and getting him to play something to bring down the guy that you had to talk to or impersonate, taking out the woman that might be taking your ass out by bringing her into the bathroom, planting the bombs, all that stuff. I don't know, there was just something so amazing about this particular level. The piano music that this pianist plays is awesome. I don't know, just everything about this just makes me happy thinking about it now. And again, it's from that golden window of my life. But I will definitely get it into a box. I just gotta go and find it. It's in a container nearby. I have to get it out. But amazing. Amazing. I don't know how the rest of the game is gonna be, but amazing. Anyways, Mission Impossible, if I haven't mentioned that, from the Nintendo 64. Sorry, I got caught up in the atmosphere of the picture. At number 4. Oh, I'm sorry, 3. Should be 3 now. Sorry. At number 3, zoom in a bit, I mentioned Bubbles, Enemies in Bubbles before. Look at this. I have actually played this level in another video in honor of my grandfather. My grandfather's, the anniversary of when he passed is actually coming up. So it's kind of touching to, oh man, my ears pulsating now. To talk about, this was the level that he would watch, and he would keep track of my score on the upper corner and all that stuff. But this is my favorite level in Super Mario World. Super Mario World is one of my favorite games of all time, so hence why it should be here. The idea of enemies in a bubble was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty neat within itself. And then obviously the nostalgia comes into play in a massive way. But it's just, whenever I think of Super Mario World, this is the first level that comes in my mind. It just immediately comes into mind. Yeah, I mean, there's not. I wish I could articulate better on this one, but this is exactly what I think about when I think of Super Mario World. This level, this moment, and then just being a kid, my sister sitting there, my grandfather sitting there, and then just playing along. Before my controller had chew marks in it, I think. I don't know. But in any case, that's why it's at number 3. At number 2, a recent one for me. Not necessarily a recent one in terms of games. This has been out for about 5 years, I think, maybe. But this is sorry, let me take a bite. This is, just to make sure, I think this is 14. Oh, 15. I don't have 14. That's good to know. I don't think I've seen it yet. This is from Final Fantasy 15. I just finished up the DLCs like a week and a half ago, maybe. Never played the final. I mean, when I played Final Fantasy 7, a demo, and I was awful at it. I hate the turn-based stuff. So I gave up on that. Yet to play the remastered one. I heard it's a little bit different. Maybe. I never played the original ones on the Nintendo, but I decided to give 15 a shot. I bought it for pretty cheap, like, you know, $8, $9, whatever. Awesome, absolutely awesome experience. Amazing voice acting, amazing characters. The graphics were unbelievably gorgeous. I mean, the game is beautiful from top to bottom. Cutscenes or not, it's pretty amazing. Great gameplay. I love the fact that you work together with one another, but it's still, you get to use your childlike reflexes, you know? But these moments right here, when you're at a campsite, is pretty amazing. One, just the camaraderie and the fact that you get to sit there and kind of soak in everything before you get ready for the next round of adventure. But the food, the unbelievable detail in the food is incredible. That made me so damn hungry to watch playing that game. Amazing. They look just like, I've been to Japan twice in my life, and they look like the display foods. If you've ever been to Japan or ever seen food displays in Japan, they look pristine. They're pretty damn amazing. Awesome. Just all around awesome. But being able to just soak in everything just for a little bit before the next round, especially if you've had a really, really tough encounter, and then you get to sit there and you know, recollect. Amazing. Just absolutely amazing. So well done. I love that game. Missed that game already. And that's why it's my number 2 on my list. And at number 1 of my top locations / levels in video game history, it is number 1, but it is sorry. Of course, it's all janked. My apologies. It is Catherine. Doesn't matter if it's Catherine or Catherine Full Body. The landings in Catherine. Originally, when I played the game, I didn't have the luxury of doing safety mode, which, actually, this is Catherine Full Body. I just realized Catherine's right there. But in Catherine, the original, you didn't have access to safety mode, so you actually had to legitimately play the puzzle games. In Catherine Full Body, you get safety mode, which is pretty neat if you just want to play the story and everything like that. It's actually really, really hard to kill yourself in that one. The boss levels, not quite as easy or hard, but it can still happen. But making it to a landing by itself after what you go through is reassuring in a similar vein to the campsites of Final Fantasy 15. But being able to talk to all your what they will become, I've always wanted to talk to a woman that's played this game and see their opinion of it versus a man. But as a man, talking to your brethren and you know, making sure that they're still alive and keeping them going and trying to make it from the next level to the next level and the next night to the next night is amazing. It's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite games ever. But that landing zone, like, I actually look forward to that landing zone and hopefully being able to talk to everyone and getting them to be able to move on to the next. I think is brilliant. And then answering the questions, learning more about yourself individually, and then learning more about men and women, I think is a really cool thing with the online feature and all that stuff. But the landing zones of Catherine I think are going to probably be the ones that really stand out. I always looked forward to those, and I think I took more time in those landing zones than anything else that you could control in Catherine. Cutscenes can be long, and I think I used to skip a lot of the cutscenes, but I never really rushed my way through the landing zones. It was always just an enjoyable experience being there in those games. So anyways, that's my we're going to stop it right there. That's my top 10 levels / locations in video games. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are going to have other opinions on that. I know probably collecting the Master Sword in Zelda probably is up there with a lot of people. I was going to bring up something from Metal Gear, but I'm going to include that, I think, in another video I might end up doing down the line. Excuse me. So that's why it's not on here. But hey, let me know. I am more than happy to check it out. But for me, these are my top 10. Thank you so much for watching if you made it to this point. And I will see you all next time. Until then,